and those of the staff, management, or owners of WGBB.
And welcome again. This is Late Night Parents with Ted Hicks, and to my left is none other than Richie V. Rich, how you doing?
Teddy Ted, what's going on, man? How are you?
Pretty good. It's been 2 full weeks. This is the third week that I was out of the studio.
Yes.
You were holding it down last week. Great job.
You were here, mobile, taking advantage of the technology.
In spirit only, because I was attending a Jets game and we actually won. And it's a good time when we say we.
We, yes. Well, I know y'all tried to lose the game.
Every which way.
Tried to lose the game, but pulled it out, so congratulations.
Yes, sir. This is Late Night Parents. Ways to listen to the show, go to latenightparents.com. Big shout out to our friends at, let me get this straight, Calibro Radio in Anderson, South Carolina.
Nice. Welcome, Calibro Radio. Thanks for listening to us.
Yes. And there's another station that I don't want to get it wrong. I'm going to say KACR in Alameda, California.
Alameda, California. Nice. We are coast to coast.
Coast to coast. Left to right, up to down, every which way. Want to thank our friends at 1240 AM WGBB, our home station. And there's a lot to cover, but before we get into anything, there was another sick tragedy that happened this past week in Las Vegas.
In some ways, it just seems like it was so long ago.
I know.
It feels like we've been discussing this for a while, but it's been a week, almost a week, right?
That's true. And I did have something written down that I had posted on the site. And I said, as we grieve for Las Vegas, we wonder, will it ever be the right time to start an intellectual, honest discussion about gun violence? Yep. You probably have thoughts. It's on you to take action. You need to find out who are your state legislators.
Yes, and whatever your opinion is, let your state legislator know.
Right.
You can go online to the government websites. The House has its own site. You can, just do a search. If you can start with just doing a search of your town, the name of your town, state legislator, town legislator. Put it into Google. Guarantee it's going to come up with the person and contact methods.
I have another way of doing this for the folks that are kind of lazy. Because they're like, Rich, what you just said is too much. That's too much for me. I'm not doing it.
Okay, so what's the lazy man's method?
Facebook.com /town hall.
Oh, okay.
And you enter in your zip code.
That's pretty simple.
From there, you go there, you see your elected officials, you can follow them, you can contact them.
Okay.
You got to be a part of the conversation. You can't just and I've said this time and time again, so me for one, so in my church, every 4 years, you see a gaggle of folks, sliding their way in.
Vying for some votes?
Vying for votes, wearing their, Saturday night clothes.
On Sunday morning.
On Sunday morning. Dropping $5 in the collection plate.
Right.
So that's another conversation. But along with that, we spoke with our, we're still hearing information from Puerto Rico.
Yes.
And it's not all good either.
No, we had that discussion last week with Jesse.
Right.
And, I think we kind of alluded to this, that in some ways it's going to get worse before it gets better, because now you're going to have all those who have not been able to be reached,
right,
or who are still in areas where there is no transportation, there is no fresh water, there is no electricity, there is no road open, and these people, as Jesse noted, there's a lot of folks back up in the mountains, back up in the hills, and now they need attention too. And now we're going on, what's it, 2 weeks now?
Yes, we are.
And some of these people are still without all of these services, and it's only going to get worse. So, we're hearing these things come out, and you see lots of organizations, you see, famous people, you see celebrities trying to organize aircraft, boats, taking collections. But, for this, I'm still putting it right on the government.
You have to.
This is a territory. These are U.S. citizens. You need to get in there and help.
I saw the mayor of San Juan was tweeting this morning, and she was tweeting to all the news outlets stating, we still need water.
Right.
We've run out. Where is FEMA?
Right.
All the above.
Right.
FEMA responds back. We've turned down the volume on the mayor, and we're not trying to politicize this. So I don't even know what that means right there. I mean, I kind of do.
Yeah.
But, the games are getting played. And I've always said to you, especially now, because it seems like we have a hurricane every week, the worst job in America, FEMA administrator,
Yep.
director of FEMA, because you're coming into a situation that's already out of whack.
Right. You're coming when you're only going to be there or get involved when there is a major problem.
It's true. True.
And that's when, you can only go so far with planning, because planning helps. Planning makes it so that people, when they're needed, are not running around looking at each other, pointing fingers, saying, okay, what am I supposed to do? What are you supposed to do? It gets the basic of the organizational plan together. But there's always, you have to plan for the unexpected, which is almost impossible, because something's going to go wrong, or there'll be something that someone didn't think about, which will be, again, like the case here with Puerto Rico. They didn't think, okay, we won't be able to get to these people, period.
Right.
And sure, that's when everyone's looking at the FEMA director and the management planning and the emergency management planning and saying, all right, so what do we do now?
It's true. I think it was Friday, either Friday or Saturday, potential terror attack in London.
And I only caught up with a very, very little bit of this, really a couple of hours before even coming into the show, so I don't really know the details. Tell me some more about it.
Where the driver of an automobile ran it into the Museum of Natural History in London.
Heard.
Not sure how many people were hurt, were injured, were killed. But just as you said, and then on top of that, the hurricane that just hit.
Yes.
I mean,
which one is this now? The naming of.
I think it's it's not Maria.
No, it's the one after Maria.
Nate,
yes. The remnants of which we're supposed to see in a couple of days where we are. It hit the panhandle of Florida, and the entrance, or the exit rather, the mouth of the Mississippi River is where it hit today.
Right. NOLA got lucky?
Yeah. I mean, I think did it hit as a Category 1? I believe.
Hit as a Category 1.
So at least it's not packing nearly the winds as Maria or Jose, or in a location, or hitting the same locations, fortunately, as those hurricanes came in. But still, it's a lot of wind, it's a lot of water, it's flooding, it's everything that goes along with it, and it's going to move its way up north.
And by no means are we climatologists.
Oh, no.
Or do we try to play one on Sundays at 7 p.m.? There's a lot of roles and responsibilities that we do try to handle on that time and, that day of the week. But, Rich, I was outside today. It's October the 8th?
Yes.
It's about 78 degrees. I was sitting there saying, I'm getting in my car, and I'm like, I'm in New York.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to a youth football game, and it's balmy.
Yes. The humidity, it's got to be in that 60-70% range. It feels like it, maybe higher. It's sticky. It's warm. I'm coming over here just now. The sun is down. It's almost 7 o'clock. And I'm driving down the highway with both windows down.
It's true.
But no, there's no such thing as climate change.
There's no such change. Hey, this is Late Night Parents with Rich Valdez and Ted Hicks. Want to give a big shout out to someone who's going to be on the show, I'm guessing in the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
Our good friends at Glider Gloves.
Oh.
These are the gloves that allow you to text while you are wearing the glove.
Oh, okay.
It's the ultimate texting glove for any smartphone or touchscreen device.
Very good.
Glider gloves are made from special conductive fibers They keep your hands warm while accessing to text or touch any part of the glove to the phone's surface.
Have you had a chance to try these and test these out?
I have not. The gloves are sitting in my office.
Ah, okay.
In a box. And I might bring them for you tomorrow if you show up to work.
Of course I'll be at work.
Yeah, it's they sent the sample, and
Nice.
I said, okay, let's see what we can do, and then we'll work on getting them involved.
Sounds good. Look forward to it.
Definitely. But I think the question I had, because our special guests of the evening that are slated to call us is Stuart and Karina Walshaw. And the question is, how would your family fare if you only had 10 minutes?
10 minutes to bug out?
If you only had 10 minutes. No, this is not a new rendition of the Puffy and Mace. You know, if you had 24 hours to live, what would you do? Of course, you know.
No, this is 10 minutes.
If you had 10 minutes, how would your family fare?
That's a good question.
So it kind of continues the conversation from what we've been talking about. I guess at the onset of the hurricane season, emergency preparedness.
Mm-hmm.
You know, initially we started talking about, you know, preparing your children for emergencies and explaining to them what is an actual emergency, what is something that, oh, this is just an issue you're having right now, versus, no, this is a full-blown emergency. This is how you should handle things, and preparation, everything else like that. But we have some folks that are emergency responders, and they know how important it is to plan ahead.
Now, if I understand correctly, these folks are local from the area.
Formerly local
Formerly?
from, yeah, they're I believe they were like Spring Valley or something like that.
But they were around here, had been in the area when Sandy came through.
Correct.
And had noticed just that, you know, people standing outside, lights out in the city, people on the streets, obviously not prepared for what was to be or what had happened. And it kind of made these people think, you know what, maybe there's something we can do to provide a little something that will help in an emergency for family to be ready when it happens.
Well, I have one of my good buddies who's NYPD, and he's been that bug in my ear for the last 7 or 8 years, talking about emergency preparedness, things that you need to have on side. You know, not, okay, you know, like we all go to the store, and we all purchase, 72 or an 88 pack of water,
right,
and everything else like that, and
right,
paper towels and batteries and flashlights,
right,
and
canned food. But
if you notice, a lot of times when we purchase this stuff, we usually consume it.
When it's late Saturday and you're like, oh, I need X, and I don't feel like running to the store.
Right.
Let me go downstairs and just grab that.
Go downstairs
and
into the pantry.
Never put it back.
And you never put it back. So we talked about getting that certain type of items, putting them to the side, and just leaving them there.
Right.
Now, of course, you don't want to get to a point where you've had the same can of sardines sitting there for the last, 3 to 4 years.
You do have to rotate them.
Right. You have to rotate.
Look, yes.
You have to look.
Make it your annual plan. Say first of June, go down there and rotate the stock.
It's true. So, but it comes down to the idea is planning.
Yes.
The idea is prep work.
Yep.
I mean, in our jobs, our day jobs, we prepare XYZ items so that when we have to go live, we're prepared to go.
Right.
So if we do this at work, why don't we do this at home?
That's a good question. I mean, as you say, you pack your school lunch for your child.
It's true.
You get them prepared in somewhat way. But how do you prepare them for an emergency?
That's true. I mean, so my kids are younger than yours, and I mean, but I know you remember whether it was like uniform time or anything else like that. If it's like, the night before school,
right,
the uniform or the clothes that they're wearing, it's all laid out.
It's laid out.
It's all laid out.
Books are laid out. Books are packed up.
The lunch is prepared.
Right.
Everything else, so that when they wake up, 1, 2, 3.
Right.
They just go through the motion, and then it's like, I don't know, it's like a factory. You pick up your clothes, you do everything that you need to do. But the question that I had before was, how would your family fare if you only had 10 minutes? So our featured guests of the night are Stuart and Karina Warshaw from, I would say,
Valdez.
ValdezDesigns.com. Karina, Stuart, how you doing?
We're doing well. How are you?
Pretty good.
Fine, thank you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So, there's been, I would say, since the hurricane season, we've seen massive destruction hit. We've seen politics come into play. We've seen cable news where, elected officials are on TV saying, hey, you got to get out of this area. We've seen areas hit where, the people that were rescued out of these specific areas had nothing but the clothes on their back. And I had the opportunity to speak with both of you offline, and you had a product that I thought would be helpful to others. So I really want to turn the mic over to you guys, allow you to introduce yourselves, speak about your products, and we'll come back and forth and exchange questions.
Sure, that sounds great. So this is Karina, and you were pretty good with the name of our company. It's Blessed Designs. And I am a former emergency responder, and our product that we have is called an emergency go bag. It's not a new product. It's one that we designed specifically. This version of a go bag is specific for urban and suburban homeowners, people who live in big cities and just out of big cities, as an emergency item that they can take when they need to leave their homes quickly.
I mean, generally, Ted, I'm sorry, this is Stuart. What happens is when there's an event or an emergency is when people completely freeze and are unable to figure out what to do. Even we've seen it when you see a weather event,
Right.
Getting things together, getting to the store, water sold out, things like that. So our go bag, and again, as Karina mentioned, it's a known item. Karina was a member of CERT, which is the Community Emergency Response Team in New York on the Upper West Side. And one of the things that they stressed is having a go bag and getting the community, everyone to have a go bag. So this item, incidentally, is in physical size. It's 22 inches tall, it's 14 inches wide, and 9 inches deep. So it fits just inside the regulations of an overhead for an airline. So it's not a huge item at all.
Okay.
It can be worn as a backpack or on wheels, but it's what goes inside of it, and it's the planning, as you had just mentioned, that's really critical. I guess starting with planning, Karina, you put that plan together, which was amazing, the Readiness Playbook.
So what we have available online and in each of our go bags is something that we call the Readiness Playbook, and it is the plan, as you guys were talking about before. Everyone should plan before an event, so know what your family is doing. So our Readiness Playbook has in it what we call the Readiness Test, and it's just a test that's kind of a fun test you can go through with your family, just to see if you're ready, and it gives some tidbits about how to get ready, what you should have available in your house if you are going to stay there, if you need to be inside for a number of days, as well as what you need to put into your go bag, emergency contact lists, the type of documents you want to have with you at all times, so copies of documents that should go in your go bag so that everything is together when you need to get up and go.
You know, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, Stuart.
I was just going to add one other thing. The thing that struck me when she was putting it together was, do you know where your children are going to be evacuated to if the school needs to evacuate?
Right.
So anyway,
that's a good point.
Ahead.
No, that's a very good point. I know you mentioned that this bag is designed more specifically for urban people living in urban environments. Can you go into a little more detail as to what you've put in the bag?
We kind of break it into two parts. One is emergency supplies, and the other one is first aid. In first aid, it is kind of the standard things you would think about. Bandages, 4x4.
Alcohol, swipes, eye wash in case you get anything into your eyes. We put in an N95 mask so people, if there's fine particulates, they put the mask on and they're not breathing all of that dust and stuff that could be in the air for some reason.
Antiseptic.
Burn sheets.
So I'm gonna take a look at our list. We actually stock it with 39 individual items, and some in multiples, like a number of different 4x4s, triangular bandages, things like that, ace bandage. And then on the emergency supplies, and I'll take a look and just give you a quick rundown, or your listeners can log in or get online and see it. Emergency supplies, one of the most important things, and we see it in Puerto Rico, is water. We have plastic packets of long-life water made by Datrex, and it's emergency water. We also have an emergency hand crank radio. So this radio has weather band AM, FM. It charges by just hand cranking it. It can charge a cell phone. It has a flashlight and a reading light. So for the people who are out of communication, because there was no electricity, they can plug it into this radio and charge. They can plug their cell phone into the radio and charge it that way. Then we have, a water bottle. We have potable water tablets, so you can purify your own water. We use ones that can kill something called cryptosporidium, which is more than just, it's really human waste and things like that. We have a multi-tool flashlight, cold packs, duct tape, 25 feet of rope with a breaking strength of over 2,500 pounds, waterproof matches, ponchos, a Sharpie, because when you are out of communication and you've got a plan to meet somebody in some place and they're not there, you want to at least be able to write down that you were there. Or sometimes, as you also see, you need to write down who you are or where you're with on your body. So there's a variety of different things. Gloves, safety vest, cell phone case that's waterproof, because we all know how important that is today, hand warmers, and it's a variety of different things. So that's what we stock it with. And we also leave room, which is critical for people's personal items, because you may have things you need, certainly medication, glasses, you have a cane, socks if you're in a cold climate, hats if you're in a hot climate and sunny. If you have a baby, you'll need diapers, you'll need some formula, things like that. So there has to be room for your own personal items.
I guess the best question in regards to this product, the Valdez designs, in preparation, where can I get this bag?
We sell it online only at valdezdesigns.com. And that's it. It's a direct-to-consumer e-commerce.
Perfect. Cutting out the middle person.
Yeah, because quite honestly, you can hear it. There's a lot of stuff in here, and the bag is super high quality. It's it's waterproof. I'd like to say ballistic fabric, but that sounds almost like it can withstand a bullet. But it's not the case.
No.
There are modules inside. It's highly organized. It has certain features, like built into it are a closed cell phone blanket, a tether, which you can use for your children to hang on to when you're in a crowded area, or hanging clothes if they're wet, and so many things are wet weather events. it's very purposely and specifically designed for this, and it's very simple looking. It doesn't scream, "Come and steal me because I have what you need."
Right.
And for a very limited time, if you go to VLESdesigns.com/LNP,
Yes.
you will get to the website. And for all of our LNP listeners, I believe there's a very nominal discount code that can be applied for anyone that wants to purchase this bag. So, Stuart and Karina, if we want to hear more about this, this product or your story or, just questions on it, what's the best place we can go to find out more information on this?
The best thing is to go to VLESdesigns.com. People can then reach us from the site with instant messaging, or reach us by email, info@VLESdesigns.com. And actually, I believe, so the standard way, if they have questions. I think it's a fairly comprehensive site, however, so, we encourage people to go there. And in addition, the price of the bag, it is $350. We just want to see people have a go bag, so
right.
People can go there and see what the list is if they want to assemble it themselves. If they have their own bag they want to put stuff in, we sell all of our components. Quite honestly, it's less than anyone will end up paying for if they assemble it themselves. But we just want, and we have a free download for the plan. So we just want people to get a go bag.
Right.
In the situations, emergency responders, when we just wish people were better prepared.
Yes.
Yeah, preparation is what it's all about, and definitely is the important piece, because, as Ted has already mentioned, if you only had that 10 minutes, 10 minutes is not long at all, and instead of having to run around and start thinking about what you might need to grab and of course missing something, being prepared, having the plan, and having the most important items together in one location can make all the difference in an emergency.
Absolutely.
Stuart, Karina, I want to thank you guys for coming on here, spending a few minutes of your evening. Would love to touch base, let's say, at the top of the year, and we can take it from there.
Perfect.
Sounds great. Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much.
Guys.
Bye.
Take care.
So, VLESdesigns.com. VLESdesigns.com/LNP.
That's nice.
Is our little page, something we worked out. But, I mean, just as we said, just be prepared.
Yes.
Some folks might think the bag is pricey, but what Stuart and Karina are doing is, hey, here's the items. Here's the checklist.
Right.
So if you don't want this bag, here's the list of the items that you would need.
Go get them. Make your own bag. Put it together. But, when you start looking at the list of items, and I did go online and run through it, it's a pretty extensive list.
It is.
So adding all of the items together, plus the bag itself, which sounds like it's a pretty well-made bag.
Right.
With the options for the way you can carry it and how it breaks down. And
39 compartments.
Yeah, 39 compartments. You can break into a smaller messenger bag if you don't need the full item. Put it around your belt, around your waist. All told, it sounds like it's probably a pretty fair deal.
I would say so, too. As we segue, this is Late Night Parents with Rich and Ted. Want to talk about... on Thursday, we had the opportunity. We were invited guests from our good friends at Zerto. This is a Hewlett-Packard company that does all different types of data storage, data warehousing and everything else like that. Invited us to Blade Runner 2049.
Yes.
Of course, we talked about, the initial reason of going there is to hear about all their different products that they have coming out. I believe it's Zerto, ZERTO.com, and they are a Hewlett-Packard company, so there's your plug, guys. Hope you're happy.
They are doing some interesting things, though.
No, they really are.
With data storage, and specifically around using SSD technology and solid-state technology. First, I guess they really started off doing a hybrid model using your traditional hard drive, mechanical hard drive, with an SSD for data throughput and storage. And then they just went all the way in designing controllers and technology with using SSD storage for speed and compression. And it looks pretty interesting stuff. Obviously, it was good enough for HP to want to buy them. So
It's true.
So you know it's not bad at all. So yes, Zerto folks, thank you very much. We did enjoy the movie. We enjoyed the presentation. There you go.
I do want to ask you a couple of things about Blade Runner.
Okay.
I did not go and see it again on this Saturday like I planned to.
Neither did I.
Certain things came into play, and youth football and practice and all this other stuff. My schedule kind of came crashing together because I wanted to go, and I'll probably go next Saturday to go see it again.
Yes. Will you go see 3D or 2D?
I will definitely go see 2D.
Okay.
I will definitely go see 2D. Without giving too many spoilers away for those that might not have seen it yet, but I don't know why you haven't seen it, because it's a great movie. The cinematography behind it alone,
gorgeous,
gave you the feeling of Mad Max.
Yep.
Or 2001: A Space Odyssey.
I guess I can see that too. I mean, I will say, they went futuristic, but it didn't seem over the top futuristic.
No. It wasn't like Star Wars or anything like that.
No, it was everything was plausible.
Yes,
I'd say.
Yes,
nothing over the top. Gorgeous looking film. Storyline was great too. When you go back and think of the original film, and like you say, no spoilers since it's only been out for a weekend. I'm not going to give anything away.
Right.
I'll try not to give anything away.
But I'm just going to say to you, humans, replicants,
yes,
and AIs,
yes.
And that one scene where it seems like everything melded together, and I was just like, wait a minute. What's going on here?
What was going on there? I don't know. So I guess that's just a technology that they've decided to build in just in case.
Just in case.
You like your intelligence, your AI. You like your AI.
Right.
So you can get in touch with your AI.
Become one with your AI.
Or let someone else become one with your AI.
Right. But I would say thumbs up.
Yeah, thumbs up for sure. And it is, I think it's almost like a definite 2-viewing movie.
Yes.
Because there'll be lots of things, I'm sure, on the second viewing, you'll be like, oh, okay, I missed that the first time around. I see where they were going there. That makes sense. And then, of course, well, like I said, also when we left the theater, I have to see the original Blade Runner now, because it's been probably 10 years since I last saw that movie.
Okay.
And so many of the references, of course, in 2049, going back to the original film, which were totally lost. So I have to go view the first one. And it's not streaming on Netflix. It's only a DVD only on Netflix.
Yes.
So maybe I'll just go buy it. It should be worth it for the Blu-ray.
But the one thing I thought was cool was 2049 could stand alone.
Totally.
As its own movie.
Totally and completely. Absolutely.
So it wasn't like you're beholden to, okay, I must go see the first one.
Right.
To understand what's going on in the second one. Because they wrapped a nice bow on it. And the one piece I did like, and I want other movies to do, other production companies to do, they released 3 short prequel movies.
You mentioned that.
They released them on YouTube and on, the Blade Runner website.
Yep.
Just to get you up to speed on what happened between the 2 movies.
Now, and you said that before, because when I mentioned something about one of the characters, you said, oh yeah, the prequels actually gave you some more information about that character.
Yes.
See, I kind of say, if you're going to release a movie and that was a main character, at least they played it off like it should have been a main character, let's show the development of that character in the film, not in a prequel.
I'm just thinking, the movie was 163 minutes. So there's only so much. So I think between the 3 prequels, that was another 20 or so minutes.
Okay.
That would have took it to well over 3 hours.
Right. So that makes sense. So maybe, you know what, before even going to look at the original Blade Runner, I'll go check out the prequels, and that might make it all fall into place for me as well.
Gotcha. I had a brief conversation pre-pro with Todd Vandenberg, who's probably going to jump on next week, and we can talk Blade Runner, because I had specific questions for him, and he couldn't make tonight. I said, okay, no problem. Today, tonight, tomorrow.
Yes.
Comic-Con?
Comic-Con. I wanted to go this year.
I wanted to go too.
And just didn't happen. It's not happening. Is it open through this week, or was it over
I think it's
today?
over today.
Yeah.
I think it's over today.
Hopefully there's next year.
Well, there's the San Diego Comic-Con, and then there's the New York Comic-Con.
Right. San Diego is the Comic-Con.
Comic-Con.
Correct. But New York Comic-Con's a lot of fun.
Yes. Yes.
And people get just as dressed up. All the vendors are there. The toy developers there. All the comic books are there. You know, there's the signings, the showings. Yeah, it's nice. But like you say, it's not San Diego.
It's not San Diego. It's not San Diego. The Justice League new trailer dropped today.
I heard. I didn't view it, but I heard.
Pretty darn good. But I'm a fan. I'm a DC fan. I'm a fanboy. I'll take it that far.
Pretty good. So do we see more clips like we did again, going all the way back to the Wonder Woman movie? Or actually, it was Batman versus Superman, when we had those tiny little clips of there's the Submariner guy, and here's a piece of the Flash, and
right.
Do we see more of that kind of thing, or do we actually see?
No, you actually see them in action.
Okay.
They actually did this correct because of Josh Whedon came in. It was a Zack, Snyder film, but then I believe his child committed suicide.
Really? Ooh.
Yeah, so he stepped away from the movie. Josh Whedon jumped in there, and reshot a bunch.
Okay.
So there's a lot new content and everything else like that. The trailer looks good. The trailer looks good.
Okay.
Looks gritty. Not as dark as Martha.
We're friends now.
Right. We're friends now. All right. So there was a bunch of things. X-Files, Gillian Anderson, David Duchovny. We're at New York Comic Con. Gal Gadot,
I believe. Yes.
She was there.
Woman.
She was also Saturday Night Live last night.
She was?
Yes, she was.
I was out late and I missed it.
She made the most of her New York trip.
Good for her.
But I'm hearing there's going to be some type of version of Comic-Con, I guess to a much lesser degree.
Okay.
That's going to be happening in November.
Where?
The Nassau Coliseum.
Really?
That's what I heard. So we will follow up because we're working on a couple things here with Nassau Coliseum, trying to get our clutches into that place.
Get a contact in there. It would be nice if they also brought back the smaller version of the auto show they would have there as well. It was
So
nice
true.
because it was small, but
So true.
You can get in there, and of course not every brand was there and not every vehicle was showing, but you had a good turnout there.
I remember I went either in 2011 or 2012 at the Coliseum.
Yes, at the Coliseum. Yep.
And it was sweet.
Yep. Maybe they can make something happen there too.
Well, they should. I mean, it's Long Island, and it's not like there's 20,000 people out here.
Right, and it's not like there's not money to spend out here.
Of course. So, I guess taking it there. What else? There was one other thing that I was thinking. Oh, have you heard anything about the MPAA and Netflix and Academy Awards are having serious discussions because loosening the grips a little bit to allow
More Netflix content
to be included for Academy Awards.
That would make a lot of sense because let's face it, Netflix is a true production company.
It is.
It's the new norm.
And it's not going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere. that would be a good thing. I mean, granted, they, lots of nominations already, but if there's some technicality that the MPA is putting in place that they can't be eligible for nominations, release it. They should be. Those actors are doing just as good a job and harder job, and the producers and directors, they're doing everything like anyone else would be.
Right.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's you're seeing this, and I'm guessing because there's a lot of concern because you open this door because everyone's worried about box office. Everyone's worried about. There's certain things people are worried about.
Right.
And last time I checked, what did we say? Netflix is doing $6 billion.
Yes.
In original content this year alone.
That's why they raised my bill $1 or $2, whatever it is.
Right. Right.
And I'm okay with that.
You're okay with that.
I'm okay with that. That's not greedy. They are putting out quality product. Don't do like, okay, next year we're doing another $1 and another and another. But all right, keep putting out what you've been putting out, and you can raise the price just that little bit. I'm okay with it so far.
What about like Movie Phone? Well, not Movie Phone. Movie Pass. I'm hearing more and more. It's going to be immersed into our homes, where it's like
bring the big screen home.
Bringing
really,
the big screen.
New releases
really home. Yes.
Released right into the home.
Released right into the home. Let's just say, hey, Rich, such and such movie is going to be out. We're charging you $39.95 this weekend to watch it, and that's that.
See, if you're charging me $39.95, I'm going to go to the theater.
Okay.
Because I still want that experience, and I think, sure, you can be sure that. Let's just say that became a standard. There would be a lot of folks who would say, "Yeah, I'm just going to sit at home."
Right.
Or I'm going to go ahead and build out my home theater even more so, and set it up so that now I'm watching the new release on a 100-inch screen in my basement in full surround sound and everything else, making my own theater for 6 people.
But isn't that what people are doing now?
People are doing it now, but you still, like you were just saying, you're not doing it for what's released this weekend, at least not legally.
Right. I think that's I guess that's the next phase.
Right, that's the next step. And, sure, charge the same amount that you would charge for someone in the theater. Okay, that sounds fair to me.
But
then
they can't
the theater.
quantify it.
Well, you still have your download. You have to have a way of tracking who installs, who downloads, how they're viewed. There's got to be some, licensing mechanism, so you can't just keep it. It's a one. I would think do this as a one-shot viewing type deal.
But I'm saying I've been to the Richie V estate. I've gone to the movie room, which fits at least 25 to 50 people.
Yeah, okay. He's never been to the Richie V estate. At least not that one.
You go into your movie room.
Yes.
You turn on the big screen.
Yes.
And I guess I'm stuck at the actual fee. The actual fee, because if I'm 1-to-1 watching it is one thing.
Right.
But if you have a crowd of people.
Well, that's why, you said put a $39 price tag on it. So that gives, covers a couple of people.
That covers a couple of people.
You are going to have, I guess, for the theater owner, for the production company, you'll have less overhead because now you're collecting this directly. You're not paying a theater to host it, so you're getting the entire $40. Whereas maybe those 3 tickets in the theater, you might get 2/3 of it or whatever the cut is. I have no idea what it is, but that they don't get everything.
Right.
So maybe that is a way to make it a wash. And then, sure, there would have to be some sort of playback licensing technology that says, all right, like we have now for many things, you've played it once, you get the next, once you've made your purchase, you have the next 24 hours to watch it. And you set it up, get it all going, and it's all good for your, 7.1 Dolby Axon, whatever method you've got to view it at home, and you view it. And at the end of your 24 hours, that's it.
Okay. I'm just saying that's the next wave because I'm sorry, movie theaters are going to. They already have started closing.
Yes, consolidations, closings. a lot of people just seem to not care about that theater experience as much as they used to.
It's no different than, like I was telling you last week, that in-game experience at MetLife versus watching it on your TV at home.
Right.
And especially when you're watching it on your 4K TV with your, surround sound system. And let's just say it's only at 5.1 or 3.1. Well, the room is only so big.
5.1. 5.1. Anything's going to be at 5.1.
Okay. So you have that. What's the difference? Where's my experience, coming in? Because what? You're going to tell me with going to the movies, spending that, $30 on a popcorn and a sugary drink?
That makes it all worthwhile. And your adult beverage makes it all worthwhile. I would tend to agree. I mean, it's more incentive to build out that home theater.
That's true. I think we'll close out, or get prepared to close out, with the NFL's rating problem. This is going to be something that's just going to be all season long, and I'm not sure if you heard today.
Vice President?
Yes, during the Colts and San Francisco 49ers game, I think about 20 San Francisco 49ers took a knee.
Good for them.
And Vice President Pence
walked out. As is his right, as was their right.
Right.
And what's it going to take for them, for people to just start realizing, saying, okay, this is not a stand against the police. This is a stand against an attitude. This is recognizing wrongs that have been committed and looking for some acknowledgement. But like I said, the NFL's caught in the middle of it.
They're caught in the middle of it. First quarter of the season ended. Second quarter jumped off today. Mm-hmm. And the games are only going to get more competitive as you get towards playoff time. And the ratings will continue to increase.
Yeah.
They're only going to continue to increase. Because I'm sorry, people care about their faith, their family,
and their football.
That's it. They don't care about anything else,
So
and don't take my gun away.
Yeah, that's right. Don't take my gun away out of my cold, dead hands. But so you think that all the attention that's being given to the NFL now, and the lost revenue, and the downed ratings, that's all going to pick up as we get towards playoff season.
Yes, I think without a doubt.
You think it'll get back to normal, or do you think there'll still be a dip?
I think there's still going to be a dip because of not per se the competition. I'm going to say per se because of the competition.
Okay.
Because you have Major League playoffs going.
Right.
The NHL just started.
Right.
The NBA is about to start in another 10 days.
Okay, now, on that thought, what if this trips over into the NBA?
Oh, it is going to trip over into the NBA.
I know. So now what happens there with their ratings?
I don't think there's a problem because it's a progressive league.
Right. Okay.
It's a progressive league, and the commissioner and the players' union, they're working together, and it's more of in one accord. Yep. Whereas over the past couple of weeks, Goodell and DeMaurice Smith, who've always been at each other's necks, were actually behind each other, sticking up for each other.
Okay.
Supportive of each other.
So you're saying we don't have to worry about this happening in the NHL?
Someone I believe on Toronto, the Maple Leafs, a few days ago, threw up a fist. But for the most part, you don't have to worry about that in the NHL.
But good for that person, whoever it was.
Yeah. Someone texted to me last night.
Okay.
And they said, Ted, check this out. And I was just like, what is this? But, I just think there's the interpretation. Does everyone need to come together? Of course everyone needs to come together.
Right.
That goes without saying. But I think, like you said, everyone has their right.
Yep.
You have your right to protest. I have my right to stand up and say, you know what?
Yep.
I'm not going to stay here.
Yep.
And just think of overall the cost to have the detail, to have the vice president there at the suite.
And jump up with him as he walked out.
Yep. That's your hard tax dollars at work. Oh, man. Big shout out to Alton Bird, VP of Operations for the Long Island Nets. Big shout out. We want to be speaking with him very shortly. We're about to close this out right now. Richie V, I am the real Ted Hicks. You can find me on social media. But for you, where can we find you, my friend?
You know where I am. I am at Late Night Rich on Twitter.
Thank you.
Have a great week, everyone.